going to talk to you about the joys and pitfalls of being a grown woman in a little mini show where we're going to talk about a few topics that we want to talk about, but also some things that listeners have thrown at us.
Yeah, so today's topic, I feel I'm going to laugh all the way through this. Let's talk about feeling sexy.
Feeling sexy. Boom, chicka, bow, wow.
See, and here we go. She always does that. And that's how it starts.
I love this topic,
I know
Twila.
you do. I
think
know
it's
you do.
So important.
I know you do.
Especially for us as women to talk about it. I was talking to a young lady the other day who's probably, I would say she's in her mid-20s. She's a nurse. She's, independent, lives on her own.
Mm-hmm.
And another friend of mine who's about my age, we're in our mid-40s. When we were talking about a little bit about sexuality and feeling sexy and at this time in our life. And it's really, that conversation would not have happened when I was 20 something and a woman in her 40s I was sitting next to at the pool. That's true. That's true. You wouldn't have had that conversation. So I think it's an important topic for us to bring up and acknowledge and share and talk about what does it mean to feel sexy?
That's a really good question. I don't.
I
You
think
have
it
to
means
answer
something.
it first.
Yeah, you go first. If I look at it, and that's what I got to kind of, because I don't think about it. Well, I guess I do to a degree. If I'm like, what makes me feel sexy? What makes me feel sexy is, feeling confident.
Mm-hmm.
When I feel confident, I feel sexy. Feeling some things that make me feel kind of carefree. Like if you got a day off and you're getting ready to go hang out at the beach or by the pool and, just relaxed and you feel good and you're going to go, it's just that makes me feel sexy, feeling kind of carefree.
This is going to sound really odd. No, it's not. It's just going to sound like me. I probably feel the most sexy when I am like having a full on full tilt debate with somebody.
Oh my God.
Like when I'm talking, I'm a total nerd. when I am running, when my brain is going on all cylinders and we were talking, we're going back and forth. I'm going back and forth with somebody and I'm like, and we're making points where we're actually like both getting something out of it. Like,
I love how we're at polar opposites. I'm all carefree when I don't have a thought in the world.
Yeah. I'm literally like, when we're in the middle of like debating World War III.
When I'm on CNN
I'm
debating.
like, I'm on fire right now. I always feel bad for my husband because I'm sure he's just thinking, what? Like, seriously?
I feel sexy when I'm having a good boob day. When like, especially this bathing suit I have, I just absolutely love it. Because it's the best thing for my boobs ever. And when you get them positioned just right, it's a good boob day. It's like a good hair day. Because there are days when it's just like the boobs just don't line up the way they should be. And you're like, what's going on? They're the same boobs.
Yeah, but they just don't work out. See, I've never really been I've never been a really like, oh, I feel sexy in my clothes today. Like I always feel the most like sexy when I'm comfortable in my own skin and I'm like when I'm just sort of being my most genuine self.
Yeah.
So then I wind up feeling the most attractive when I'm like wearing jeans and a comic book t-shirt.
But you're being smart. You're doing something that is engaging your brain.
Yeah, I've always like. I remember hearing that statistic that one time when they said like, "What's your largest sex organ?" And they like, it's like some people say it's your brain, some people say it's your skin. And I was like, when they used to say, "Oh, your largest sex organ is your brain," I'm like, "Yep, sure is." That's all I needed to know. Like I was like, yeah, because I used to that used to be like my benchmark. If I would go out with a guy, like. Yeah, I liked it. Looks were important, but if my thing was always, can you keep up with me? Can you keep up with me? Like if you can take a joke and handle a joke, if you're sarcastic and smart and quick on the draw, if you're really smart, if you're smart in ways that I'm not smart, so I'm not only like we're not only like engaging with each other, but we're kind of learning from each other.
Yeah.
That's it all day.
So yeah, and that's what you find sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Then
but that equally made it like that made me feel more sexy.
Yeah.
Like it was like I've never been one to be like, well, I put on a fancy dress and I showed up a thing and I got it like that. Like I mean I know I got it like that. but that wasn't. But those like I like usually when I put on something like that and I'm walking around the world, I almost feel like it's the emperor's new clothes. It's not really me. Yeah. So that doesn't usually do it, for me in terms of that. It took me years to just like to sort of cultivate a wardrobe that was more reflective of me and feeling good about me in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel good in my clothes. I enjoy my clothes.
Yeah.
But my clothes have never really been the thing that dictates if I feel sexy.
Yeah, I have to say I lean more towards the clothes, because I'll dress differently. You know, if I'm you know, I know I'm going to get together with my man, do something later.
If you're trying to get it, there's an outfit.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to wear that underwear.
See, now you know me. This falls back into the category of who I have always been, which is
we're just trying to get it all the time.
And I don't, and I don't need clothes to dictate that. I would, you know, like I used to be the person when we were young and we didn't have kids and responsibilities. I'd be like, I would enforce like naked Sunday. Like, why can we not wear clothes today? Because it's just easier.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to like try to like maneuver you out of things.
Yeah.
You're just out of things. And then I can just do what I want. That's fine. Like I was, you know, like that was, so I've never really been like, I remember the first time I tried to buy like something like I thought was specifically sexy.
Yeah.
And it was funny. And this just tells you how much my husband and I have always been in sync with the way we think about things.
Mm-hmm.
I bought this thing. I spent a ridiculous amount of money on it. I put it on. I was going to parade around in it. And he literally said, it feels like you spent a lot of money for something that's just going to wind up on the floor in 2 minutes. And we both looked at it and laughed and we're like,
well, that's why I buy my lingerie on sale.
Yeah, we both were like, fair point. So then it was just like, do we need to do that?
Yeah.
No. So it's just, that's always been, I've never been that person.
Yeah, I don't lean as much towards like the sexy lingerie and whatnot, mainly because I'm Asian and I don't like to spend money.
Well, coming from my Asian household, I understand.
Yeah, so I have found a couple cute things on clearance at stores that, you know, I've worn and it did help to make me feel sexy, but mainly because of it's that reaction and that interaction. You know, when my man walks by me and does the like up and down look and goes like just damn. That makes me feel sexy. You know, you talk about feeling sexy in an interaction, you know, versus feeling sexy. Like, how do we, because usually it's not like I wake up in the morning and go, I want to feel sexy today. No, it's usually when I'm preparing. I know that later that night,
that's
or
funny.
later that day, who I'm
trying to think,
see.
have I ever really had that thought? Like, when have I employed that thought? Like, I want to feel sexy.
Well, you know, like if you know
on my honeymoon.
Yeah, on your honeymoon, but I mean, what about just in your, you know, I mean, like you.
I don't have to like. That's not it. Like I like on my honeymoon. I specifically said I'm gonna show off. Like yeah. I'm gonna like. We had like 11 days in a tropical location. Yeah. It was like I'm showing off. I'm gonna spend all the money and put the girls where they're supposed to be. I'm doing all the tricks. You know, all the tricks. Even the tricks you save till after you get married. Like there's certain things you don't let them do until after you get married. Like that. Like what? I saved all the tricks
that you don't let him do.
Or that you don't do either. Yeah.
Till after you mean like have sex?
No, like certain maneuvers.
Till you're married versus before you're married.
Yeah.
So how long were you with your husband before you got married?
Like 4 years, 6 years. Something
so
like that.
You held out on certain sexual positions or activities.
Yeah.
Till you got married.
Okay, listen.
I'd like to know where you draw that line.
Well, no, listen. There's a lot of stuff I would do. I'm good. Yeah. But there were some stuff that I knew I was great at.
Yeah.
That
you held off on for 6 years.
Well, listen, you don't get the milk for free. Buy the cow. Buy the cow. You know this.
Well, if you're not going to tell me during the show, after the show, I'm going to need to hear what this is.
I'm just saying. You know I'm accomplished. There's certain things I just don't do. There were certain things that was like, oh, you're going to get, like it literally was like surveying the ring, like, oh, you're going to get a real treat, sir. You're gonna be real happy about the cow. Trust me, you're gonna be real happy. And there's some things you need to reserve just so that they know that you have a whole life together, and it's not just gonna be all what they already got. What you already got is good, but you gotta level up.
Yeah, no, I get. What you're saying.
And I will say this.
Room for improvement.
And I will say that we both leveled up.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was happily surprised on the honeymoon. Like we both leveled up, and we've happily surprised each other as time has gone on.
Yeah,
but
that's the key to a successful relationship.
Yeah, you do have to level up.
Yeah, you always got to work on your game and work on improving it and work on there's little things or trying things a little differently and just see what floats your boat.
Now, like there are times where like it's not sexy to me. It doesn't float my boat.
Yeah.
But I have things that are in my wardrobe or things that I employ that I know my husband likes.
Yeah,
that those are his things.
Sure.
He likes that. Like the more the more I look like Marion the librarian, that's, it's a happy place. Like if we're going someplace nice and I'm wearing a nice little conservative dress, and I'm like, seriously? Like it's all covered up.
He likes that?
Yeah. Like, I mean, he likes it when I look very conservative. Like when I look, when I look like I'm.
You
about
sure
to be
he
at
just doesn't want to take you out in public looking like a sex pot, so he doesn't have to fight off the men?
No, he doesn't want me to look like a hobo because he knows. Although I will admit, we had the early days where like, when there is a sweet spot in your 20s where it's not higher or tighter, and you look good, and you wear your skirts far too short. I failed the spoon test at every turn.
What's the spoon test? Oh, so you hold a spoon by your side?
No, where you throw the spoon on the floor, and if you bend over to pick it up, and I can see all your business, you need to put on a longer skirt. So I used to fail the spoon test a lot. And I remember us having the early passionate jealousy days of where he'd be willing to fight somebody in the street, and I'd be like, hey, listen, we're not fighting out here. Yeah. It's just a skirt. I'm with you. Like, calm down. We had those days. But yeah, like as we've gotten older, it's occasionally like we'll be out shopping and he'll be like, oh, I like that. And I'll be like, seriously? Like, no. And then I realized he's genuinely likes
You mean
that.
like what you're wearing?
Like, no, he'll like something I'm picking, like I'm looking at on the rack.
Oh, sure.
And it'll just
Clothes.
be like, it'll just be like the opposite of me. To me personally, it'll feel like it's the opposite of me. Yeah. And he'll be like, oh, I like that. And then
it's something that's conservative looking.
It's just like so not me. Like like if you would see me, you'd be like, Twila, what do you have that on? That's not, And then so we have a good middle. Like I know how to dress appropriately for things. I know how to pull it together and get it good. I give good trophy wife.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are some things I have in my closet that are really solely for his benefit. They don't do anything for me. And I tend to not like clothes that don't do anything for me. Yeah. So that's, but that's why I think sexy for me isn't defined by like the appearance of it, because it just doesn't.
And that's why I think we're talking about it's what makes you feel sexy. What do you do to feel sexy? And I think that is different for each of us.
Read a book.
I'm like, only if it's 50 Shades. Or some form of erotica.
I'm gonna have to level you up. I found so many more good books past that book. That book was the gateway for everybody to understand that those books existed, but it's like the worst of those books.
Really? Oh yeah. Shoot me some titles.
Yeah, I will shoot you some really good stuff.
Yeah.
I will. I make another show now where we talk about like romance novels and stuff all the time.
Oh yeah. And now I don't like the romance novels.
No, listen, girl, listen, you know me. I'm not gonna send you a bodice ripper. I'm gonna send you something good and smutty.
Yeah.
Got you covered. I got you covered. Stay tuned, it's a good show. So I guess what advice would you give to somebody about like feeling sexy?
I would say just explore it for yourself. Don't do it based on what your partner, what your husband, what somebody likes. That's what makes them feel sexy or helps them to feel sexy or find you attractive. But start with what really makes you feel sexy. What makes you feel desirable and gives you those warm fuzzies, because obviously just you and I talking about it, for you and I it's polar opposite things.
Yes, it is.
For me it's being carefree and kind of that vacation mentality, even if it's just for a day or a few hours, and for you it's debating on Anderson Cooper.
I guess I'm going to make my advice to you real simple about feeling sexy. Just get naked. And here's why. Because if you're with somebody and they're your partner and you have a rapport or relationship with them, trust me, if you get naked, the implication is there that something good could happen. And that always leads to good things.
That's right.
So just get naked. And listen, you don't have to get naked with the lights on. I believe in night nudity and day nudity. You can have night nudity and it works out just as efficiently.
I like candlelight. Candlelight is great lighting for me.
That's
and
cute.
My skin tone.
No, I mean I can work in the dark. We're good. It works. So find the level of lighted nudity that you're comfortable with, and
play around with the lighting
and have that, because you only get one life. Enjoy it. So in the meantime, go to the website. Go to matriarchdm.com. The show's on a little bit of a break, so until then, you can go to our show page, Twila and Natalie, and you can listen to past episodes. You can email the show at hello@matriarchdm.com. and stay in touch with us, and I promise we will be back very, very soon. And we appreciate all of your support.